Alright, also look, welcome back to the channel, and guess what? It's fight week, and UFC 307 is going down this weekend on October 5th with the main event featuring none other than the undisputed light heavyweight champion of the world, Alex Poatan Pereira, and he's defending his belt against the number 8 ranked Khalil Rountree Jr. And in this video, I'll be breaking down my picks for UFC 307's main event. So, without further ado, let's delve right into it. And if you're new to the channel, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share so you can help me reach 1,500 subscribers by May. I'll deeply appreciate you. And make sure you join the official UFC Discord, link in the description. Alright, so look, starting off with the curtain jerker of the main event, we've got a middleweight bout between Roman Dolidze and Kevin Trailblazer Holland, and these two are kind of an odd pair, especially since they cannot seem to commit to one weight class. They're always moving around, either to the welterweight division to the middleweight division, or to the middleweight division to the light heavyweight division. Make up your minds. But to make a long story short, I'm going with Roman Dolidze on this one. First off, I believe that the stand-up game between the two of them is a lot closer than a lot of people think, especially considering Roman Dolidze's recent performances. Look, I get it, but while many might overlook him, Roman Dolidze has some sleeper power once he lands, and it's dangerous. On top of that, he's got an insane ground game. But now, the big reason as to why I am not picking Kevin Holland in this fight against Roman Dolidze is because of his inconsistency. He is quite literally one of, if not the most inconsistent fighter on the UFC roster, with 6 losses and 5 wins in his last 12 UFC fights. What? And look, let's not forget that Kevin Holland has stated on multiple occasions that he's more in it for the paycheck than chasing titles. And look, sure, he's not walking into a UFC fight planning to lose or whatever, but when you're just in it for the bread, it's kind of hard to trust you in big fights. And it's not like he's fighting someone like Michael Olajaychik anymore. He's going up against a ranked middleweight contender, and I don't want to sell short on another main card pick, so that's why I'm picking Roman Dolidze by decision. But one thing we've got to keep in mind though is that this fight is happening at elevation, so cardio can become a factor as the fight goes on, but we'll just have to wait and see how it all plays out. Next up on the card, we've got a critical women's bantamweight matchup between Ketlen Vieira and Kayla Harrison, which is likely stacked up to be a title eliminator bout. And let me be short and sweet on this one. I'm going with Kayla Harrison by either a submission or a decision. This fight really shouldn't be that hard to call. Kayla Harrison is quite literally a mutant in the octagon. She's pretty dominant. Plus, heading into fight week, she's already stated on numerous occasions that she's on standby as a potential backup for the women's co-main event. So if either Raquel Pennington or Juliana Pena were to drop out of the fight due to injury or whatever, Kayla Harrison would step in. So it kind of goes to show the UFC's clearly believing in her ability to take this one against Vieira. Next up for the third fight on the main card, we've got the legendary King of Rio. Jose, are you listening? Jose, keep that belt glistening. Jose Aldo facing off against the 11th ranked Mario Batista, and my pick, I'm going with the King of Rio. Look, after watching some of Mario Batista's previous fights, it's clear as day that his pressure along with his high volume striking are super impressive. Plus, he's riding off of a 6-fight winning streak, so you cannot overlook him. However, even with Mario Batista's relentless pressure, I just don't see like accurate or super precise striking, and while he can overwhelm his opponents, I just don't necessarily see him landing anything super powerful or significant. But on the other hand, Jose Aldo is an absolutely nasty boxer with slick counter-punching ability, and even though Mario Batista knows how to turn up the heat, one mistake can cost him his chin, especially against someone like Jose Aldo. As for the ground game though, Mario Batista is well known for being a lethal grappler, with 3 of his 6 straight wins coming by first round submission. But let's not forget about Jose Aldo's ridiculous takedown defense. And if Jose Aldo is able to stuff takedowns from someone like Merab Dvalishvili, the current bantamweight champion, then there is no doubt in my mind that he can certainly defend off against Batista's takedown attempts. personally. That being said though, the elevation in Salt Lake City is a known cardio killer, and Jose Aldo has been known to slow down in the later rounds. Still, even though Jose is at the twilight of his prime, I still believe that he's better than Mario Batista in almost every aspect. That is why I am picking Jose Aldo by either third round TKO or a decision win. Now for the co-main event of the evening. We've got the women's bantamweight champion Raquel Pennington defending her title against Juliana Pena. And I've said this before and I'm gonna say it again. Never bet on a fighter coming off of a stupidly long layoff. So I'm going with Raquel Pennington to defend her title against Juliana Pena this weekend. Guys, we cannot forget that this is the women's bantamweight division, quite literally the worst division in the UFC and the organization as a whole. So I'm really not expecting anything too crazy. Both fighters are pretty mediocre on the feet, and while they're better on the ground, it's really nothing to write home about. So I'm not gonna pretend like I know exactly how this fight is gonna play out, but trust me, Pennington by decision is the safest bet here. And now for the main event of the evening. We've got Alex Poatan Pereira, the undisputed light heavyweight champion of the world, defending his belt against Khalil Rountree Jr. And guys, this is Alex Pereira's third title defense this year. And taking into consideration that he's a 37-year-old that's still competing at the highest level of MMA is something legendary. Oh my God, he's an absolute legend. But when it's all said and done, I'm picking Alex Poatan to get the job done this Saturday night. Look, in the early rounds, we'll likely see some exciting exchanges on the feet. I mean, Khalil Rountree is a super aggressive fighter with solid Muay Thai and noteworthy power, but let's be real right now. We are kidding ourselves if we don't think that Khalil Rountree Jr. isn't getting slept in this fight. I mean, this isn't to downplay Khalil Rountree's skills, but Alex Pereira is a nightmare matchup for him, bro. Like, Khalil is too hittable. We've seen this in his recent fights, like when he faced off against Anthony Smith. And sure, Khalil Rountree KO'd him and made him do the chicken dance or whatever, but before that, he was getting touched up way too much by Anthony Smith. Come on. And then there's his split decision win over Dustin Jacoby, another former Glory kickboxer. And Khalil was getting lit up in that fight, and in my opinion, he should have lost it. Mind you, Dustin Jacoby does not possess the same knockout ability as Alex Poatan. So if Alex Pereira was able to land the same way Jacoby was, it's game over. Plus, let's not forget that Khalil Rountree's record is pretty mediocre. I mean, he's faced little to no comp. Who are we talking about here? Chris Dawkins? Carl Robertson? Who? His best win on paper is knocking out Mr. Washed of Washed, Anthony Smith. Meanwhile, Alex Poatan has been absolutely tearing it up in the light heavyweight division, beating Yuri Prochazka in November of 2023, then sleeping Jamal Hill in April of 2024, then beating Yuri again for a second time in June, only this time by black magic. The only way I see Khalil Rountree realistically pulling this off is if he pulls off some type of Leon Edwards style Hail Mary head kick KO. Otherwise, I see Alex Poatan chopping his legs early, breaking him down and conditioning him with the body shots, and then stiffening him with a lead left hook or a lead head kick KO, Johnny Walker style. And I'm calling it now. Alex Pereira by KO in the first or second round. And there you have it, folks. My picks as well as my breakdown for UFC 307's main card. But let me know in the comment section below, what do you guys think of UFC 307 and who do you got? Alex Poatan Pereira or Khalil Rountree Jr.? Let me know in the comment section below. But that about wraps up the video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.